Hello, Sloop Dark Snout here, and this is my second video involving the Commander X16. Well, as you can tell, the wolf is really digging the butterfly here. Last time I did the grounding wire trick to update my SMC because I have the bad bootloader. Well, I still have a bad bootloader. And I thought, well, I never planned to update that, to fix that, because I thought it was super scary and I thought I'd have to go on the PC and do all this GitHub nonsense and create files and do all this stuff that I hate. I don't understand it and I don't care to learn. But actually, it was easier than I thought, but boy, it was needles in haystacks finding the right files. So luckily, I found them for you. Well, actually, Anthony Henry helped me find one too. What a good guy. Anyway, where am I going with this? Man, okay, yeah. Let's watch as I fix the bootloader, update the SMC one more time, and, well, you'll see in the video itself, there is, the people that work on these SMC stuff, they added, well, a few little hacks and tricks and bonuses into the more recent versions, and now I get to take advantage of that, so let's see how it goes. Well, we're back. We're gonna try to repair the bootloader this time. Oh, there we go. So let's see what version we left off at. Here we are. What do we got? The SMC. Now this is what I updated in the previous video. I had to use the wire, you remember that stuff, but there's a bonus here that is included with SMC version 47.2.3. This at the minimum has now a bit of a treat. They added a feature, a bit of a backdoor, and I will explain it right now. So here we have our SMC chip. Now it doesn't actually have a specific area for the bootloader and the SMC code. It's just one continuous chunk of whatever, flash memory or whatever is inside. But this is how the developers have divided it up. There's a little chunk of bootloader code and the usual SMC code that runs everything else. Now, when you want to update the SMC, well, this is busy running. That's why the bootloader is here. This area takes over when you want to update this stuff, because you can't have things updating as it's running. So this area is in charge, and that's great. And this is the problem was with the bad bootloader, it never allowed this to completely finish. So part of it got corrupted and blah. So that's what the wire is about. But with the latest version, well, the one of the more recent versions, 47.2.3, I think was one of the first ones, possibly, that has extra code in here that allows this. So now the SMC can be running code to change the bootloader. So each now has the ability to affect the other. And that is great because they did this specifically so you can fix the bootloader issue without having to pull the chip. This is brilliant. And yeah, and I'm about to take advantage of the code that they, added into the more recent SMC to fix my bootloader. So I will not have to use a wire ever again. I sure hope that made sense because I haven't done it yet. But anyway, so I'm going to try to repair this bootloader. So next time I do update the SMC, I do not have to use that wire. And so I made a folder all its own, and I put these files in it. And here's where I got them. So yeah, it's, well, I read the link in the description. It leads to GitHub. There's a whole page on dealing with the bad bootloader. And then after you update it, at least to this version, there was more data to tell you how to fix the bootloader itself because they are separate items, right? So the SMC got updated, but the bootloader is still flawed. And it basically comes down to this. Now, there's 3 different files here, and one is the writer, like you can see because it's got the SMC bootloader writer. I guess that's version 19. I have no idea. This is bootloader dumper, which basically will read part of it and give you a little look-see as to what it has. Now, I don't even know what this, well, I guess I took a brief look at this program. Yeah. Does that make sense to you? Doesn't make sense to me, but that's great. We don't need to know. Let's just run it. Ooh, look at this stuff. Oh, that's it. Okay. So what do we got? CRC something something. Oh, look at this. It actually figures out a checksum, and it knows from its little, the data that it's got on the program up there, it knows that I do have the bad one. Dump to SD card with the command dump to SD card. So I can save this if I wanted. And the boot v3 failsafe. Now this is the great part. Boy, oh boy. Well, I'll explain that in a moment too, but for now I'm going to save this just for fun and get a photo of this, and I'll be back. Okay, I haven't done it yet. I think, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Actually, that's 16 characters total. Huh. So it still fits into the file size, because I could call it anything I want. But if this is true, like how to save a chunk of memory, how easy is that, eh? Let's find out. Okay, now do I have it? I was going to find out if it was actually, if you're allowed to save something with a super long name. Well, I'll figure that out later. But anyway, I saved it just because, right? Let's see. So, and now the next step, well, I guess I don't really need to do that, but I'm going to anyways. This is the writer. So we get that. Let's take a look at it as well. See what it's up to. No. Ooh. Sorry. Yeah, there is, this is the program file that obviously I loaded, but there's also, for each of these two files, there's a blah, blah, blah .base. Now, I guess that's for, I don't know why it's there. Maybe for people that use base load, I don't know, but I was able just to, in the GitHub there, I was able just to look at it and see the listing without having to, bring it into the machine. But anyway, so I got the writer. Now let's just go for this. I'm gonna run this. Now boot 3 is the good bootloader that that GitHub site has there, and this is going to now replace. Ooh, what's it up to? Oh, what's that? CRC bootloader v3. See down here. So this is the one that it basically, yeah, selected file, blah, blah, blah. So it read what it's about to use and comes up with the checksum and goes, oh, hey, this is what it is. Do you want to do it? Yes. So I'm going to say yes. Oh, boy. And I believe nothing really needs to happen except for me pressing possibly reset and power at the same time. No more wire this time. Not even this time, I hope. Let's see, flash manipulation requires unlocking button combination. Yes. Power and reset must be pressed within a 20-second timeout. Okay, so just like before, once I hit the yes, I'm going to put the phone down because, I can't do too many things at once. So we're going to do that, and I'll be right back as soon as I can. Whoop. Let's just watch this for a bit. Okay, enough of the drama. BRB. Ooh, okay. SMC ready for programming. Start programming. Yes. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, that's it. Read, flash, and validate contents. Programming succeeded. Now, I had a discussion with, I think, Eirik Stople. I hope I'm saying his name right. He's given me the guidance that I'm sharing with you here. And after this programming is done, nothing needs to happen. It doesn't reboot, nothing. So what I can do now, I wanted to double check my work here. So I had the commander itself unplugged for a couple minutes. And so what we're going to do, let's see if the bootloader is still changed, right? It should be. It should be still different. Now it has no idea what we've been up to, right? So let's see. It should know what it is. Good. And it does. That's good. Now, I realized, okay, I got the bootloader fixed, and the last video I got the SMC updated to, where does it say? Yeah, to this version. But to demonstrate, well, not to demonstrate, well, yeah, I guess it is. I should go look for SMC 48.0.0, yeah, which is actually the most recent. I was unaware of that. 48.00
that was from December 2024. So I don't even know why I thought this was the most recent. Perhaps it was appearing in more recent GitHub articles from July of this year. So let me go get version SMC 48 and let's see if it works. All right, we got the update on the card here. What is it? The SMC. Well, let's go back to our kit and directory. Check it out. I added, well, this. And, well, here's where I found it. Ta-da! And what it is, this particular file has the I guess the code that does the update, as well as the new SMC. It's embedded into it. So all you have to do is basically run it. Now, I think we're just going to get a cryptic line here. Sure we are. But let's just trust it and see what happens. Ooh, what do we got? Well, this looks familiar, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. I got to remember this. I got to press enter. Return. Haha. All right, see you in a moment. Man, I almost missed it. I almost just pressed power by itself. Ooh, it's doing more this time. Sounds good. Now, I believe it really will shut down this time. Yep. And come on, turn back on. Oh yeah, it doesn't turn back on. I have to do that. Okay, well, let's do that. See, look at this magnetic cover. Yes. Come on. Now, dun, dun, dun. The SMC should be 48. Look at that. How easy is that, eh? I mean, we're set. I mean, I don't know if the veer is as high as it's going to get, but as per usual, I just don't care. This is as high as I believe the SMC can currently get as of today. And I didn't explain it. Maybe I did explain it in the cutaway, but I'm going to explain it again here. The thing with this special bootloader V3, the one that we just installed previously, like earlier in this video, this is an ordinary SMC file. It is unaware that it, how do I explain this? The bootloader V3, when it installed this, it hacked it at the same time, because normally, say this blue area here is the SMC, and this is the end. This is where the bootloader resides. The SMC code is in the first area, the first big chunk. But when you boot the machine, it always begins at the beginning. And one of the first things it does is, it'll jump somewhere inside its own code and do its thing. And that's fine. But if this is all corrupted, well, it's just going to jump here and, fuddle around in the lava, and you've got a wrecked machine. And that's the problem with the corrupted bootloader. It wrecked this beginning stuff and nothing worked. But what the V3 bootloader did when it installed the new SMC code, it changed two things, I think. The very first thing it did, it actually put a special instruction here to go all the way over to the bootloader code. And this is where the trick is. It checks to see if you're holding the reset button as you're booting it. And if you are, it does some special stuff, and it'll look for a certain type of auto boot file to fix the SMC. It's kind of like a back door. So anyway, let's say, okay, so you turn it on, it goes here, it checks the reset button. Oh, it's not pressed. And it goes basically here and continues as if nothing's the matter. So it's kind of like, it put its own, wait, let me verify everything's fine before handing off control to the SMC code part of the chip, because this makes sense. And I don't know how to explain it very well. I'm not doing a good job because I'm nervous. But the thing is, if, say, you start updating the SMC and the power gets knocked out, well, hopefully you still have that beginning bit. As long as it can make it here with the newest bootloader version, you'll have a way to fix it. But at the moment, until you install a new version of the SMC with the latest bootloader, that back door does not get installed. But now it is. 5 minutes ago, I did not have it. The old version 47.2.3 was installed under the old bootloader, so it basically just went whoop, and it dealt with itself, and it was unaware that, and it couldn't have possibly went over there anyway, because if it did, there isn't any code in that previous bootloader to look for the reset button and deal with all this. So they added what they call a failsafe. Now that I have the SMC version 48, as you can see here, the boot failsafe is now installed. It did hack it, and this warns me, do not install an older bootloader than V3 because you're going to be cooked. Don't, because it's going to jump to code that doesn't make any sense. That's basically it. It's a warning, right? Because if I installed an older bootloader at this point, I will have a bricked machine because I'm basically redirecting it there from the get-go into oblivion. So that's a bad idea. But realistically, version V3, that's the one you want. So I got no problems. But I just realized I didn't run the dumper checker because I saw in previous, if you back up a bit in the video, you'll see it says not installed because it checks that very first little bit to see did the bootloader change it or not. And now it has, so there it is. So kudos to the Commander X16 team. They know what they're doing. So I'm happy now. I've got the SMC and the bootloader updated as far as they can go. This, I tell you, the most recent install here, you saw that. That was a treat. That is how simple updates should be. Kudos, guys. I love it. Thank you.
Hello. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, I love this. I love it. Come on. Do it. Do it. I'm not going to sneeze.